I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire true wealth, one person, one family, one business at a time. Shaw & Associates is a wealth management investment firm that specializes in taxes, serving as a fiduciary, putting your interests first. You can find more information or schedule an appointment by calling 530-674-1150 or on the web at shawassociatesinc.com. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
And we're grateful for Mr. Shaw. He was on yesterday talking about finances, which is always just such a fun thing. Everybody likes talking about budgets. Budget meetings are so much fun. You get a little, tray full of food and stuff, and everybody just enjoys it, smiling at each other because what fun stuff. So speaking of budgets and where things are going, I got Jim Schaad, the city manager for Marysville. Did I get that right?
You got it.
And Anissa.
Yes.
And this
Leung.
Leung.
Yeah.
Got to get that G in there. Leung. And you are the finance director. God, now that I got that right. And who we don't have here is Dan Flores, which I'm really grateful. Sometimes it's just good to not have that guy around. Other times, I hope Dan's watching. Yeah, if I didn't pick on him, I mean,
You wouldn't feel the love.
Yeah, it is. It's love, right? But speaking of Dan Flores, he does a lot in terms of economic development, and he promised me that we'd get to talk about some of the things that are developing in the city. So that's what you're on here for. And anything else you'd like to talk about, like the Peach Festival, or?
Well, the Peach Festival is underway.
Yeah.
Bigger than ever. Looks like it's going to be bigger than any of the past events.
Yeah.
More vendors. That's what our marketing folks told us.
It said there's 129.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And
the brick and mortar
it's going to be
store.
below 100 degrees for
Yeah.
it, which will help.
Yeah.
So very excited about that. I'm going to be officiating the pie eating contest on Saturday.
I won't be participating. I'm just telling you, I'm not going against Manny Cordoza.
Yeah, he'll win again. Probably.
He's the king of the pie eating contest,
yes.
Right? That's a great thing, though.
So, a lot going on in Marysville. We have been chipping away at economic development and have some new housing units coming online. The Delta building, I think, is got its occupancy permit, and we should start seeing that one fill up.
Is that the one?
That one's just across the street from the Marysville Hotel site.
Yeah, that thing is
turned
gorgeous.
out nice.
That's gorgeous. Have you seen it? It's yeah. That's a nice looking building. I was like, whoa.
And no pressure, but Chris Gill is working on, I think it's 15 units roughly.
Wow.
On D Street. Nice looking units, and we can't wait till those are done. Add some more housing for the downtown area, which is one of our pushes, is to get more housing in the downtown area to spur the economy on. So
yeah,
moving right along.
It's great if you can live downtown. I had told you the story about the area I grew up in, and they had gone in and gave permission for business owners to live above their, which I understand you guys changed in the plan, right, that they can. And when that happened, that's exactly it. Apartments started showing up and people could live downtown. I mean, it's only a matter of time before there's a little tiny grocery store down there. I mean, you got all these businesses going in. It's awesome.
It's definitely picking up. New yogurt shop, new bakery.
I'm going there today.
So we've got the trifecta right there. You can get yogurt, baked goods, and meat. How could you go wrong?
When I first went and talked to Double Z, right, Zach down there, and God, they got great prices, great meat, right? He makes hamburger with bacon already in it. Oh, anyway, so I went and talked to him, and I had this great idea because he's a butcher, and I said, well, when we get a baker, I already got Honey Barn as a candlestick maker. So visit downtown Marysville with a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker. And then Carrie Hauk was talking to me. She said they got a yogurt maker. Butcher, baker, yogurt maker, right there next to each other. I mean, this is awesome stuff. You got Palomas that went in, so you've got some stuff that's later in the evening. Mm-hmm. It's happening.
We definitely need more, though.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to try and get more. Just a personal thing. My wife came down. She had a doctor's appointment in Yuba City, and she said, let's do lunch. We went over to Quenchies and Munchies and got a sandwich, which was delicious. She was very impressed. And she walked out, and right next to it is the Honey Barn and Diggs.
Yeah.
And of course she saw that, and she wanted to go in, and very, very impressed with the quality of the presentations in those stores.
That whole thing with Diggs, I love it. You can go in there and it's like you can see it in one of the rooms in your house. The way they set that up, first time I walked in there, I was like, whoa, is this place? Yeah, it's
So,
impressive.
We just need to keep moving forward, keep the momentum going, and the city needs to keep supporting those business owners.
Yeah, all you need now is a decent radio station, and you guys.
I think we got one of those.
What do you think of the finances of Marysville when you look at it? Because you worked other places before, right?
Yes.
And so when you look at it, and I say this because we had Dave Shaw on talking about city governments and how. So, just be honest with me. Is that just something to juggle when you're having to do budgets? And
it's definitely something to juggle. We did have a pretty large organizational change this year. We annexed our fire department to the local fire protection district.
That's cool. I read that.
So that's been a transition for the organization as a whole, but we're managing it very well. We have a very healthy reserve, and it's been very nice to be able to do more of these community projects. We have about, I believe it's approximately almost $9 million worth of capital improvement projects. We're paving.
Come on.
We're paving a few roads this year through CDBG, and we're utilizing the SB1 dollars, which is a state program that helps us maintain and fund road maintenance repairs. And so we are doing a couple of those projects. We have I always call it the D Street Lighting Project, but I know it does more than that.
I think everybody does.
Okay. So we are working on the D Street Lighting Project, and then we have several down the pike, and that also includes some improvements to City Hall as well.
So how important it is, I mean, I think it's important, but from the city's perspective, how important is it to have these places for people to live downtown? How significant is that?
Well, this is my opinion.
Okay.
And
well, you have a right to it. Otherwise, I'd get stuck with Dan Flores' opinion. Instead, I get you.
But
this
I
could
will
be
say
good today.
we share the same opinion on this.
Good, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
We've talked about this a lot, and one of the priorities for the city has been to somehow revitalize the downtown area. And we have a ton of vacancies historically in the downtown area. We started in the gold rush, and things just gradually declined, and the big box stores came in, and so now we're having to retool the downtown area. It became very clear to me when we had a developer in to look at 3rd and D Street to develop that, and we asked for mixed use development on that property. And he said, why would I put in commercial units on the bottom floor of that property when you have so many vacancies in town? I would like to do all residential with the ability to convert to commercial once the economy picks up and there's more traffic downtown.
That's cool. That's smart.
And so Dan and I don't come up dream these ideas up on our own. It
What?
just makes sense. Another thing that I noticed this first when I visited my son in New York. He lived in Astoria, which is in the Manhattan, she knows more than I do, but in that New York City area. But the community had just that component. It had a lot of storefronts on the bottom floor typically, but most of the upstairs and the side streets were residential units. And it was very, very lively. And you mentioned the little grocery store.
Yeah.
When people live in the downtown area, they may shop at Costco or whatever. My son did. But for the day-to-day items, the convenience items,
I want to
they're
go.
going to be
I
able
want
to
to walk
down the street
Yeah.
and pick whatever
Yeah.
they need up. So that, I think, is the strategy here, is more people in the downtown area will generate new businesses that will support those people living in the downtown area.
And you've got new businesses coming in all the time, which is great. Somebody asked me when I moved back to Brooklyn, and I said, no, because their mayor doesn't like Italians, so that ain't happening. He just forgets us, like, oh, who are they? We built that city. So it's like, but here you've got people that have lived in this area. My point being, you've had people that lived in this area forever. They have watched Marysville. And so Don Blazer used to own the Brick. So one day I'm sitting in there with Don, and I said, Don, why are you running for office, right? Because he had, I don't know if he had sold the Brick yet, but he was getting ready to, right? And he said, Fish, look out there on D Street. What do you see? And I said, D Street. I'm very observant, right? It's like, he said, Hallmark. And that stuck with me. Because once you can see that, you can see it as one of those little Hallmark towns, right? Where people live there, know each other. Already a lot of people know each other in our area. So it's, where is that downtown community? So the businesses are there. Now you guys are putting places for people to live. This is awesome. I mean, this is only got to go one way. It can't go another way. And then now you're talking about putting lighting in. What's next? Right? I think you should take the old Marysville Hotel and turn it into a swimming pool. On the hot days, that place would be packed. No, not a good opinion. That was Dan Flores told me to say that.
Oh, did he? I'm surprised he didn't say Chick-fil-A.
He would tell,
That's a very popular one.
It is. That has got to be of all the things I hear. Because we got a Cane's, what's it called?
Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane's. It's good chicken, right? It's good, but we got the KFC, right? But man, the minute you mention Chick-fil-A, it's like, yeah, are we getting one?
Yeah. Chick-fil-A, Trader Joe's, those.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they have their own strategies for we can't just say, hey, Chick-fil-A, put this here.
Yeah, and they go, we haven't even looked at that yet, right? They're like,
but we do have the grocery outlet that's coming.
Yes.
That is cool. And then you got a new Starbucks.
Another
one, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they're doing that.
I guess just you said what's next, and I've thought about this quite often. Nothing happens in a vacuum. And so when we look at what we're going to do in the city, there's just so many interrelated pieces to it. The grocery outlet is just another one of those pieces, and the hotel that is going to go in next to it is just another one of those pieces. But let's use the hotel, for example. If once the Hyatt is built there's going to be a certain number of customers. And what are they going to do for food? What are they going to do just to pass time when they're there? We have a beautiful lake that needs some improvement, which could offer some recreation. We have the baseball field. that could offer some recreation. We don't have a great pathway to the downtown area for those folks yet.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So can we create a good pathway for people to get to the downtown area?
You mean, are you talking about like a bike path or a walking
bike
path?
ped or-
Something?
Yes.
Oh, God, that's brilliant.
And then
Please don't tell me that was Dan's idea. Now I have to be nice to him.
Group effort.
Group effort.
Group
All
effort.
right.
a lot of this came out of our last strategic planning session. And,
That's
and-
just
and
brilliant. That's a great idea.
We've been working on projects in certain locations, but now I think we're thinking, how do you connect everything together? Another big ticket item that we're looking at is how do you get people from East Marysville easily over to the new grocery store,
Oh, yeah.
the ballpark, the Ellis Lake, and then downtown. There's not a great safe feeling pathway there. So we are looking at just preliminarily a pedestrian and bike tunnel underneath the railroad at 14th Street. 14th Street dead ends at the railroad tracks on both sides.
So isn't D Street a major thoroughfare through the city? I mean, I know, because we do the ball games, so I'll just shoot down here and hit D Street, and I can get all the way over to 14th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it considered a major avenue?
D and E Street are the two
Yeah,
major
yeah.
corridors. The D Street is very convenient to, say, go to the ballpark from downtown. That's typically my path. That creates some unintended consequences in that when people are in a hurry, they tend to speed through that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a
All right,
volume
I'll stop
issue.
doing it. What, they get my license number? What?
But we did some traffic calming and tried to correct some of that. So we don't have as big of a problem with the speeding in that area now. We do definitely want to get people from the downtown area to that area, and then want to get people from East Marysville easily over to the West Marysville side. And so a lot of what we're spending our time now on is how to connect. Some of the projects we have going on, and one of our priorities was streets. We paved about 25% of our streets in the last 5-6 years, which is phenomenal. We've got another street project through CDBG grants in northwest Marysville, up in the 10th to 14th Street, and between the lake and the levee, to pave those neighborhoods, and they're in rough shape. But we're also looking at how we can provide better, safer pedestrian and bike passage through those areas. Another big one we have is Ellis Lake on the east side. I mentioned we're trying to improve Ellis Lake as it fits in with the hotel, the ballpark, and everything else.
Yeah.
And we will be doing a project. What did we decide when that's going to start construction?
I think that's going to start in the fall.
In the fall, to widen the pathway on the northern and eastern sides of the lake to about 8 to 11 feet wide.
Wow.
Much more welcoming to walk on. Now we got to find funding for the west side because that's our next big endeavor on Ellis Lake. We want a nice wide pathway all the way around the lake, but those pathways also serve as a connector from the northern part to the downtown area.
I get it. So you would actually go by the lake. That's
Yes.
awesome. That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
We'll give Dan credit for all that today.
All right. He deserves it.
He's gonna have
a
a
good
big
man.
head now.
He's a good man. I don't want to say too much, right?
But it all costs money, right? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say she cringes, but when we go through all these projects we have going on, she has to manage that money and make sure that we stay solvent while we've got projects that I would say, in scale, have been unprecedented in Marysville for quite some time. The volume and the scale of the projects is something that we just haven't had to do in the past, and so it takes a lot of juggling. It takes a smart finance director to make sure that we can do that. She and our engineer, John Mallon.
That's who
and
the
I had
engineer is?
a long conversation yesterday, good conversation about how we're going to time these projects to make sure that we can fund the projects and then get reimbursed.
So a lot of them are funded by grants, whether that's through, mostly through the feds, some through the state, and then some that are also from the state but have accumulated for several years. And managing that when you have all the projects that overlap, and your general fund operating budget this year, I believe, is almost $14 million. So you have all these projects that are nearly almost the same amount as your general fund operating.
Yeah.
You have to kind of manage that, and with things and the economy, and we are doing really well right now. I mean, the state and our local economy specifically. Measure G has helped the community in so many ways that we can't even comprehend that, we're just trying to reinvest that back into the community, and having these new measures and having these new ways to provide better services, and whether that's infrastructure or public safety, it's a lot to manage, but we have a really good team, and it's been very nice to be very welcomed and work with everyone as we try to accomplish these things over the next couple of months.
I know that when I don't know if it was called Measure G the first time.
Measure C.
C. I remember when that came about, and Marysville was really in a rough place. And I remember the conversations I'd have with different people. Why do this? Will it really make a difference? Well, once it actually happened and you could see the difference it made, but I didn't realize it was going to have to be voted on again, and that was G, right?
Yes.
And so is it going to have to be voted on again? Is it one of those things that...
This last time, the vote was to leave it in place forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so you don't have to keep doing it because it's working.
Yeah, the way that would change is that there was a vote to remove it. And I think that's fairly typical. The taxpayers put a sunset period on a measure like that initially because they want to see if it works. And
Boy,
their
they
money's
found
spent
out
well.
it did, didn't they? They were
And,
like, wow.
Well, and I think there's a lot of credit due to the previous council and the previous management in the city, because the initial was in 2016, and there were promises of more public safety, more streets, more parks improvements, and that was set in place early on, and we've kept that promise. I think it made it very much easier when it was voted on again to get the measure passed the second time, and there was a 70% support for that, which is unusual. We're fairly proud of that, particularly when we're in a conservative environment where people don't like extra tax.
Yeah, any new tax, I don't like it. And I remember having a conversation. It's like, however, this money stays here. That's the difference. To me, that's what makes it worth it. As a taxpayer, it makes it worth it to me when I know that money is going to stay in the community I live in, because that's one of the big complaints is I get taxed and the money leaves, goes to the feds or the state, and then they give you a little dribble back. And it's like, well, we need more than a dribble. We're trying to take care of the people here, right? And I was talking with Dave Schaad, and he said even sometimes they'll make you do changes in a county or a city. They'll say you have to do this, but they don't pay for it.
Right.
So
Yes.
you have to figure out, okay, wait a minute, I got to do this and I got to pay for it too. It's like, it's really hard.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, okay, I'll stay out
I
of
feel like
that.
there's a couple of things we've had to budget just for that reason. So, but they're requirements, and you have to abide by them.
Yes,
and it's
yes.
an obligation that the city has. Otherwise, you become not qualify to apply for future opportunities. And when they impose that on you, unfortunately, you do have to go through the process of making sure that you accomplish that goal.
I do want to mention this about grants, and I found this out because we had applied for some here. Some grants, they just give you the money, right? You have to make sure it's
Few and
spent
far
in the right
between.
place. Yeah, but most of them, you have to put the money out up front,
Yes.
and it's reimbursable.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Some grants can take several months. I've had grants take anywhere between 6 to 12 months to just get a reimbursement back. The larger the dollar amount, the more complex the agency is, the longer it takes. But we've been very fortunate with even some of our road projects with CDBG from the feds. We've seen reimbursements quicker than I think we anticipated. And that's been very nice for us because, you have these $3.3 million road projects, and the city has to front that. And being able to say, I know that we're going to spend $1.5 million in the next couple of months just because they started the work immediately. Asphalt's expensive right now. Everything's expensive right now. But having that ability to do that and trying to manage that. But yeah, we do have to front that first.
I tell people, I have a friend that has a church in East Marysville. I think it's on 16th. I can't remember. But so, I went over there, asked me to come speak for him. I went over there. All that work you guys did over there, I tell people, you need to drive over there and see that. That's gorgeous. That neighborhood is, it's beautiful. Wide streets with bike lanes and all real smooth. And I don't even have to worry about my shocks when I go over there. It's like, and then, so that project, is that similar to what you're talking about, the next project being in the next area?
Yes, and so one of the questions that we typically get is how do you select where you're going to pave? And the condition of the pavement enters into it, but particularly when we do grants, and these CDBG grants, there are other factors that have to be considered. The folks at HUD and the state's counterpart HCD, they're focused on disadvantaged community tracts. So that funding can't be used for some tracts within the city. They just don't qualify. So we typically package the CDBG projects for those disadvantaged neighborhoods. We're not going to turn money down just because it may not be the worst street. And then we look for other funding, including our own, to fund those projects that don't necessarily have grant funding available for them. We spent $3.5 million in East Marysville in tracts that weren't eligible for CDBG. That was general fund dollars, that was tax dollars, Measure C dollars that we use. So there's a lot of strategy on how we apply for grants for paving and which areas we select based on the grant criteria. There's a lot of grant criteria or grants out there now for active transportation, bikes, peds, walkability, but we look at two factors. We look at multiple factors. We not only want to provide the bike ped facilities, but we want to pave our roads too. So
and
a
sometimes
lot of fitting those
align.
in. Yes. So I think we've been pretty successful and pretty innovative on how we fund projects with grants.
I think it's important for people to know ultimately, the people that work for you in the city, they want to pave every road. It's not like they don't want to pave your street, right? So they're having to work with, it's just like a family budget, right? You got X number of dollars, right? The difference is you guys have criteria they put on those dollars, and so you're having to jockey that. But ultimately, the desire is to make everything better.
We would love to pave every street.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now. Do you live in Marysville?
I do not.
Oh, so you don't worry about your street.
Not really, to be honest. I commute to Marysville, but I very much am pretty involved. I try to go to as many of the local events and just be aware of what's going on around here.
Well, some of it, correct me if I'm wrong, some of it you guys don't If it's a Caltrans thing, like is it in East Street?
Yeah, Highway 20, Highway 70, we don't have a lot of
Right,
control over
right.
that, but we work with
Yeah.
Caltrans. We had a lawsuit a few years ago with Caltrans. We resolved that, and I will say we've been working with them very cooperatively. They're great partners. At this point, we are, I mentioned sewer project. Sewer has to be relocated for the Binney Junction project, which is correcting the can opener bridge thing in the north side of town, giving more clearance for trucks that come through. But it was easier for us to manage the relocation of our own sewer. They are paying us to do that, but we have just bid out that work, and we'll be starting that in coordination with Caltrans. Caltrans also, as part of our agreement, came up with a very nice design to put bike paths on both sides of the 70 where they're working from the high school down to 14th Street.
Oh, that's good.
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just another, I mentioned all of this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. That's just another connection that we can utilize to get people from the north side of town to the south side of town. In this case, it would be from the high school, probably be the biggest user, into the grocery outlet area, the ballpark area, and I think that'll be just another addition to the overall plan of making the city walkable and bikeable, and allowing people to connect from where they live or where they go to school or where they work to the amenities in the downtown area.
So last thing I need to talk about, and that is what was the name of the building on the other side of the old Marysville Hotel? That's now
The Delta building.
Delta building.
Yes.
So the Delta building, I forget how many apartments they have over there, but there's apartments. Chris Gill is putting apartments in, and so there is new places for people to live. But there is a plan down on 3rd Street, right on that corner. Is that supposed to be apartments? Oh, and there was apartments above the golf thing.
So there are the apartments above the golf thing are done.
Okay.
And he's looking for tenants. So anybody.
All right.
It's listed.
I think he got probably a third to halfway filled, and they're nice. They're smaller units, but they're some very nice units.
And you can go downstairs and play golf.
Yes.
And stop at Paloma's.
Yes.
And go to the Brick and Eat.
You're catching on. So the 3rd and D project, we've been
Yes.
pestering the developer on that one, and that is a 31 unit complex. I think that was the last numbers I've seen. All apartments and higher end market rate apartments. The developer has some other projects he's trying to wrap up, and I think he'll be starting in earnest here soon. I think he owes us some plans for permitting purposes.
So a developer comes in, I just want to make sure I understand. So they come in, they say, hey, I want to buy that piece of property and this is what I want to put on it.
Yes.
And then the city's involved in terms of all the permits, everything that has to go with that for it to happen. Is there some sort of promise they make, I will have this done by?
Well, in this case, there is.
Okay.
In a typical development, not necessarily a promise, but we own a portion of that area.
Oh, the city does?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
The front section of it. And so when we want to divest ourselves of it, then we work with the developer and develop what's called a development and disposition agreement, which does line out certain conditions they have to meet, and usually there's a timeline. In this case, we'll probably be giving the developer an extension. That's a council decision, but we probably will, I will propose to council that we give that person an extension.
Because of the other stuff they're having to do before
they own the other
got it.
properties, so there's a limit to what we can do with the small sliver we have, and so we just need to keep him motivated to move forward.
Send her over there.
Yeah. She's from Jersey. She should be able to handle
That's
that.
what I'm thinking. It's like, you just do
Which would
that.
be nice.
We just do that. Hey, we have ways of dealing with this. How you want to do this?
You know somebody, you know somebody.
I know. I know a guy.
I think we'll get there on that one. It's just a matter of the developer prioritizing that project.
Well, guys, thanks. We ran long. I'd have never done that with Dan. I'd have got him out of here.
Poor Dan.
Poor Dan. Dan.
You chased him off to Cleveland.
Of all places, right?
Be nice too.
So, Jim, thanks so much for being willing to come in. I just think this is such a great area, and there's so many things going on. And sometimes, like having you come in, it kind of clears up. Look, it's the reason it didn't happen yesterday wasn't because we were sitting over at City Hall playing poker, right?
Yeah, we actually work
It's
100% of the time. if you would believe that, we're pretty busy. I keep her very busy.
Yeah, thanks for handling the money. Do you handle the money at home?
I do.
Yeah, I bet. And it's like, well, I'd like to buy this. I love it.
So here
That's
at work,
good.
I know she has to say no a lot, and
Yeah.
quite often to me too.
But
We
she
can't
says
do
no
that,
with a
Jim.
smile.
Yes.
Right?
No is a full sentence.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Fish.
Thank you.
This community interview is made possible by Schaad & Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Schaad & Associates. For over 70 years, Schaad & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire